I have never seen the Indiana Fever ask more than they are asking now. And I am beginning to find out why. Shout out to Venom. He lets us all know tickets are moving a little slowly for the Indiana Fever. When you compare it to the first year, flew off the shelves. When you compare it to the second year, hashtag now you know, flew off the shelves. They couldn't keep.
What happens when the most hyped player in basketball becomes the most unpredictable part of the show, and fans start feeling like their money isn't worth it anymore? The Indiana Fever built their entire identity around Caitlin Clark, yet the overall experience still feels like something's missing. Ticket prices keep climbing, empty seats are becoming harder to ignore, and the frustration is only getting louder. So what's really going on here? Are fans finally pushing back? Is this just about rising costs? Or is there a deeper issue with trust? And if fans continue to hold the line, what does that mean for the future of the franchise?
The Indiana Fever would be hoping people would be talking about today. You may be like, what is today, Rhodes? Well, today is the start of Indiana Fever training camp. Oh my God. Not so fast. Not so fast. In a day that should have fans fired up doesn't. All right. A lot of things have transpired that has led to the moments we are going.
It was supposed to be the simplest sell in basketball. Put Caitlin Clark on the court, open the gates, and let demand take care of the rest. But something feels off around the Indiana Fever. The same fans who once scrambled for tickets like they were concert passes are now hesitating, refreshing pages, second-guessing the price, and quietly backing out. This time, instead of rushing in, they're choosing to wait.
It's all starting to make sense. The constant posts, the constant reminders, tickets are available. Folks, in my 2 years of following this team, now going into the third year of Caitlin Clark in Indiana, I have never seen this team beg more for ticket sales than I'm seeing now. I have never seen them post more. I've never seen them ask more. I've never seen them demand more. I've never seen them tweet more. When it comes to ticket sales and trying to sell out
and that hesitation didn't appear overnight. It crept in quietly, built over months through a series of decisions that, on their own, seemed harmless, but together started to form a pattern. Early on, no one challenged the hype surrounding Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. It all felt justified, even inevitable.
Ticket situation for the Indiana Fever game against the Dallas Wings. And obviously Venom here, I saw this tweet and was like, oh Jesus, this doesn't look great. About the Indiana Fever struggling to sell out the home opener. And there are a lot, and I mean a lot of seats. And honestly, most of them are not recent.
Caitlin Clark arrived with historic numbers, record-shattering college viewership, and a kind of gravity that turned ordinary games into must-watch events. The expectation felt straightforward. She would be the centerpiece, the engine, the draw, the reason fans were willing to spend money they probably shouldn't have spent in the first place.
Might be time for the Indiana Fever organization to start, if not panicking, maybe show a little concern, start paying attention to the Caitlin Clark fans. We've talked about this before. I see it in the comments here, okay? A lot of people are burying their heads in the sand if they think there are not Caitlin Clark fans who are walking away. And no, not because they're upset with Caitlin Clark, because they're tired. They're exhausted. Year 3, they still have their own organization trying to limit and diminish.
For a time, the promise delivered. Tickets vanished in minutes, hotels booked out, and fans crossed state lines just to be part of what felt like a generational moment. It wasn't just basketball, it was a spectacle built around one player's ability to reshape the game. But then reality began to disrupt the script. Instead of fully unleashing Caitlin Clark, the system around the Indiana Fever started to feel cautious. There were stretches where she barely touched the ball. Possessions drifted by with her off screens rather than orchestrating the offense. And as the season wore on, a question started creeping in, one that should never surround a player of her caliber. Why does it feel like she's playing a supporting role in her own show? At first, fans gave it time. Adjustments take time. Coaching philosophies differ. The WNBA is a different level. All reasonable explanations, on their own. But together, they began to sound less like context and more like excuses, especially when paired with something even harder to ignore: uncertainty. Fans weren't just buying tickets. They were buying into an experience built around Clark. And that experience became unpredictable. One day she was expected to play. The next, she was questionable. Then suddenly, unavailable. And for fans who had already spent on tickets, flights, and hotels, it meant sitting in the arena watching a version of the team they never planned to see.
About 2 weeks away from the regular season, a lot of tickets available. Not only are they available, but the Indiana Fever, these tickets are high. Like, I wouldn't spend that much money on tickets. I wouldn't spend that much money on tickets. I know I wear the same jacket every day, so it's not saying much. I'm cheap, I'm frugal, but still, is the juice worth the squeeze? Especially when you don't know the role of your favorite player. People remember last year.
That kind of disappointment doesn't just fade. It sticks. It lingers, shaping the next decision. So when tickets go live again, hesitation replaces impulse. And that's where things begin to unravel. Now, with a new season on the horizon, the energy around the Indiana Fever feels noticeably different. The urgency is gone. In its place, caution. The excitement has softened into skepticism. And instead of tickets disappearing instantly, there are options. A lot of them that what's even more telling is how visible the shift has become. Promotions are louder. Social posts are more frequent. The messaging feels less like celebration and more like persuasion. When a team that once sold itself effortlessly starts pushing this hard, people notice. And when they notice, they start asking why. Part of that answer points straight to pricing. Because even as enthusiasm cools, prices haven't followed. If anything, they're still riding the wave of last season's hype, as if nothing has changed. Upper-level seats, once an easy, casual buy, now demand real thought. Lower bowl tickets creep into territory where fans start doing mental math. Rent, travel, value. Is it really worth it? That calculation gets even tougher when uncertainty still hangs in the air. Premium prices only feel justified when the product feels guaranteed. But if there's even a chance that Caitlin Clark won't be featured the way fans expect, that premium starts to feel less like an investment and more like a gamble. And right now, fans don't seem interested in rolling the dice. And beneath all of this, there's another layer quietly shaping the situation: roster construction.
Need to take responsibility for their actions and their fellow fans' actions. We also need to be holding people accountable for that kind of stuff that we are seeing within comment sections and at games. Instead of turning a blind eye towards it or saying that it's not my problem, it's just the organization's problem, we need to be calling it out and also saying that that will not be accepted